PM versus vendor. Team play for success.
I'm Gabriela Coahla and I have been a certified bilingual translator English to French and Romanian since 2010. I consider myself a beyond words vendor and I love being close to my PMs.
I'm Lucia Gutierrez, a localization project manager with almost 10 years of experience. I have worked in many different LSPs with many different hats, but always focusing on project management, as it is the job I enjoy the most.
Hello everyone, we are back with another special episode with special people for you.
Hi Gabriela, hello everyone. Yes, so as part of our anniversary series, we've got two great women with us today. The first one, who is going to be representing my side, the project management side, is actually not a project manager at the moment, but she has experience being a project manager. Currently, she works as a financial translator, English into Italian, but she's got this combined experience that we like, that brings both sides of the localization workflow. Because right now, her main job is being a translator, but she also manages multilingual projects. Her name, because I haven't told you, is Martina Abagnale. And she also is the founder of Lemon Twist, which is a project management solution designed specifically for freelance linguists. So I believe that with all the experience she's got and with both sides of the coin, she can be a really good asset for our podcast today. So hello, Martina.
Hi Lucia and Gabriela, thank you for inviting me.
Hi Martina. And from Team Vendors, because a PM needs a vendor, we are joined today by Argyro, Alykatora. I hope I said it well. She's Greek, she's funny, she's kind, because I know her. But even if she's Greek, she considers herself a citizen of the world. And if you didn't know it, her name means silver. And as her surname is Alykatora, which is one letter short to alligator, it means that she's a silver alligator, but with a very soft and kind heart. So yeah, she's kind. She will not eat us today. She has been working as a freelance linguist for 17 years. Nice experience with English and German as source languages. And she specializes in marketing and transcreation. And I know she loves coffee. And she has proposing copywriting services to her clients. She's also a member of the Institute of Translation and Interpreting in the UK. And she runs the Cretan Translators Get Together to support the community of freelance translators. So welcome, Argyro, Silver Lady. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Yeah.
So today we're going to be discussing, as you know, an old topic that we've already discussed, but we believe we need to talk about it more, or we want different opinions to be shown. So today's topic is going to be about deadlines.
Deadlines. It's a hot topic, and as we said, we talked about it, but we want your opinion. So I will start with Argyro because she is my duo for this series. So Argyro, in your opinion, who truly owns urgency in a project, and why, in your opinion?
So yes, thank you for bringing back the issue of deadlines. I think it's an important one. So naturally, I would say that in a project, the urgency is owned by the person who commissions the project, right? This makes sense. So they need a service, and the service provider must help their client meet their needs. So provide the project. The service provider is there to inform the client, however, about each stage of the process that they have to follow and how long it will take in order to produce a professional outcome. Most clients have no idea what translators do, and they don't need to, right? So when I take my car to the garage, I trust that the engineers there are doing their best. Do I know anything about cars? No, I don't. The only thing I know is driving them. So they will tell me how long it will take to get my car fixed. And if you ask me, I feel like that if I pressure them, then they will not produce the best possible outcome. So yes, the person who commissions the project sets the deadlines too. But we are responsible to provide our arguments if they are not reasonable and tell them what we can do, not what we cannot do to accommodate them. For example, next month, I'm working with a travel group because I own a travel agency, by the way, and I will
Nice.
be away on Fridays. So if a client asks me to deliver a project on a Friday, I will not say I don't work on Fridays, but I may say I can deliver on Monday to look at the translation over the weekend with a fresh mind.
That's interesting. Martina, would you add something to this point?
I was gonna say the same. I think like, the person commissioning, so like the end client is the person that is responsible for the deadline because like at the end of the day, we cannot really know like what's going on in their mind. So my experience when I was working in an agency is that, they would come and you would say that things were very urgent. And then after 5 questions, you realize that for them, urgent means like in a month, or maybe it means yesterday. And like, they're using the same word to express extremely different like ideas. So it is always like a matter of talking and figuring out, what their needs are and what actually is feasible. Like Argyro is saying, if I go to the car shop, like I expect somebody to help me understand how things actually work. So I think we should be here like in between translators and end clients to like express what best practice is and exactly like what's feasible.
It makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And actually, Martina, you made me remember I used to have a client that everything was urgent. But then after 2 or 3 projects that they were telling me, oh, this is really urgent. And then it was like 1,000 words and they needed that within 4 days. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's urgent for you. But yeah, you made me remember that. So going on that, what does as soon as possible mean to you and from the PM point of view?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as possible means nothing unless people tell me exactly by what time they need something. And once again, there is as soon as possible in terms of you start working on it now and, paying a standard rate. This is how long it takes. Or there is the, drop everything. I have all the budget in the world. Get 10 linguists to work on it if it's needed. We can work on it right now. Once again, it's one of those words that does not really have one single meaning. And it's like there's this acronym that we used to use at the Dutch agency where I worked. It's NIVEA, stands for Niet invullen voor een andere. It's in Dutch. And it means do not fill in for a different person. So like you cannot say what another person thinks by that word. You never assume, you just always ask.
I love assume. That's a key word. And
Yeah.
what do you
And
think?
Argyro,
Argyro, what do you
from
think?
your point of view, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say that ASAP should not mean to drop everything that you're doing, observe your stress levels explode, and feel obliged to fall behind with other tasks. Our clients understand, or they should be educated to understand that we work with other clients too. There are ways that clients can reserve our time ahead of a project with retainers. Perhaps that's a topic for another podcast, right? So
Interesting
no one
word.
should expect, yes. So no one should expect that ASAP means now. Of course, from our perspective, communication is key. So the best thing we can do is always let our clients know when we will be able to provide a deliverable, right? So another thing to bear in mind, as Joachim Lepine describes really well in his book AI Resilient, is that we cannot constantly live under pressure and under the threat of losing clients if we do not do everything that they expect from us. So if we don't set our boundaries, clients will take advantage of that and it will be our fault, right? So another thing is that the more we bend backwards for clients, the less they will respect us and pay us the premium rates that we deserve. So it takes a while to get used to the idea that ASAP does not mean now, but I think it's best that we discuss it between us so that we can find ways to deal with it.
Yeah. For me, SAP means as slow as possible. Why? As soon as possible, slowly. But you said something about pressures, so it relates to my next question for you, Argyro, and also Martina, if she wants to give her insights. What pressures influence how we negotiate timeliness in our industry? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this can depend on several factors. One of the factors can be the type of project. For example, I work in the marketing and trust creation, and the clients I work with who are more in the direct client space understand that these projects have various phases and they need to be revisited many times with a clear head, right? The type of client also affects the timeline negotiations. For example, working with translation agencies does not allow much flexibility. Even though I have to say here that there are projects within the agencies that require a higher level of expertise and service, and thus there is more room for flexibility. So I would say we should really look out for these projects. I also understand that these days, because of, we are in the AI era and we cannot not mention that, we feel the need to provide our service fast to a client. And of course, this depends on the field that we are working in. But my experience is that premium clients will give you the time to do your work efficiently when you can provide the arguments as to why you need it. Competition is tough right now, of course, in the freelance world, but I think we should be working on moving our USP away from fast and towards highly skilled in a specific niche, or highly skilled in a specific niche and fast, perhaps, right? But fast should not be a differentiating factor.
Completely logical what you're saying. Martina, would you add something about Fast and Furious 6?
Yeah, I mean, Aguero is right. I don't think there's anything to add. Like, there is so many other like factors that you have to keep in mind that is not just fast. Like, what if there's like the perfect person for the job that is not available today? Like, is it better to wait a day or two to make sure that the right person does the job, or do we just like churn as fast as we can? I think also here the way I see it, it always just like goes back to the end client. Like, what do they want? Like, if fast is what's most important for them in the skill, just let it be fast. And if instead, you can tell that there's other things that they value about, there's a better way of like selling it to them and explaining to them. Like, like you can get like a 5 out of 10 today, or you can get a 10 out of 10 tomorrow. So maybe like take that into consideration.
Easier to say than
Yes,
done.
that's very true. And that happens a lot, that in the same way that vendors negotiate deadlines with the LSP, PMs negotiate deadlines with clients. And you need to be able, Martina, you would agree with me, you need to be able to read your clients so that you understand what they need instead of what they want and what they tell you that they want, because sometimes it's not the same thing. So what is one thing that you would change, and or that you do already do, that would improve deadline management from your side, Martina?
This is actually a lesson that I had to learn when I was working at the agency. Like, I remember I had a very small translation that I sent to this translator, and I said, "Can it be done next week, Tuesday?" And in my head, I thought, it's a very small translation, and I'm asking it a week from now. Of course, they're gonna send it back to me on Tuesday morning, because look how nice I'm being by giving them a whole week. And they send it at the end of the day of a Tuesday, and my boss was very upset at me because we were supposed to deliver it already. And I realized that, there was a lot of assumption in that thing. Just because I've given them a week doesn't mean that the person was twiddling their nails and just like waiting to start an translation. Maybe they had just a very busy week and they'd forgotten about it. They're just, they're very successful and they have a lot of work. So I think the one thing to absolutely do is like always communicating clearly without leaving any space for interpretation. So like if you have a desire, just let it be known. Do not hide behind the word ASAP because we don't know what that means. Just, state the time, why do you need it like that? And then just, you can see with the translator what's possible.
Yeah, the time, that's really important because otherwise you're gonna get it end of business. I can tell you that. So that's
And
really
as
important.
no,
And what about you? What is one small thing that you would do or you already do to improve deadline management?
So I really agree with Martina that clarity in communication is very important. And one thing I have started doing in the last couple of years is that I send an email to my favorite clients on a Monday and update them on my availability for the week to come. I have also decided to do this also when I'm really busy. So I would write a line, something like I will be available again as of next week, something like that. I also found that this is a great way to nudge dormant clients, like Corinne McKay says. So these are clients that you have worked with in the past and enjoyed working with them, but you haven't received any work from them in the last weeks or months. So this is it works in both ways, and also I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that we are humans and things can go wrong, and there is always something unexpected that can happen. So I think it's important to learn to allow some leeway before delivering projects. Not work until the last minute, very pressured, because anything can happen. I live on the island of Crete. In the last years, we have no electricity for some hours, or general blackout or something, or works here, works there. I mean, something can go wrong, and we need to be prepared for that.
it's true. I haven't tried to send an email, but I only put my absences in my email signature, and like 1 month and a half before. I'm a bit crazy with that, but from a vendor's point of view, sending emails. So you are sending emails to all the lists, even to clients that you have not worked with for 2-3 weeks or even 1 month.
Yes, I'm sending. I basically send emails to the people I like working with. So my favorite clients that I'm doing projects with them now, I send them this email, and also some people that I haven't heard from them in a while, I might send them an email on a Monday morning and say I have this availability this week. If there is anything coming up along the lines of what we worked on together before. And so, yeah, actually, I one of my biggest clients right now came because of this communication, because of these emails. So it's a very successful kind of method, I would say. And you don't really need to look for new clients if you already just communicate with the people you've worked with in the past. So I think it's a great way of kind of getting more work from a client that you enjoyed working with.
That's
And I gotta
interesting.
say that from the PM point of view, it's a really clever thing to do. I don't know, Martina, if you would agree with me, but it's not the same psychologically receiving an email saying I want work, or receiving an email saying, okay, this is my availability. From a psychological point of view, I think it's way nicer that you tell me, okay, this is what I can do this week. You remind me that you are there. And as you said, it's a really good way to activate dormant clients. Martina, would you say the same?
Yeah, and I think it's very smart because like just that general email, like, do you have work for me? like it's like maybe I'm gonna have work for you in the future, but if you just send an email saying this is what I can do for you this week, it's also like not very weird if you keep on sending an email every week because you're just refreshing your availability instead of becoming like annoying and being like, can you please send me work? Can you please send me work? Also because it's also like you go from like I don't want to say desperate, but like in a position of like asking to work to in a position of helping, saying like, I have this time to help you this week. And it's the perception is completely different.
But I have a question. I love questions. Maybe you've noticed in previous episodes. I have a question for Martina and Lucia for the PMs of this episode. How often is too often? It's every week. It's okay because sincerely, Argyro, I love the idea and I will try it. But I must be sincere because this is all about this podcast. I think every week is too often or not. Maybe I'm mistaken. What do you think?
From my point of view, if you give me the availability for 1 week, then I would expect another week, another email the following week updating me. If you want to give me your availability for the next 2 weeks, then the next email I will be expecting it in 2 weeks. I don't know, Martina, about you.
Yeah, and also just if you make it a very short email without being like, here's my CV and this is what I can do, just like, I can do this many words or these days, this other day I'm not available. Just like you are helping them. Like if they're already giving you work, so clearly they have work for you in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make it very short and also not the kind of thing that they have to reply, so you just let see you next week or something like that, so that it's not work, but it's just like help for them, I think it's really useful.
For me, I have to be sincere. Once a month, I think. I don't know. This is my feeling. Every week for me, Argyro, I understand you and I respect your weekly emails, but for me it's too much. I think once a week, a month. I don't know.
So, when we met in Barcelona, you were
Mhm.
talking in your speech a lot about mindset. So, I think
Mhm.
this has a lot to do with the way we perceive how they see us. So we
Yes.
feel like we are pestering them, But the thing is, if we shift this to how can I help you and how can I take away your stress? So see, I'm using your words now.
Against me. That's not nice. No, I understand you, and it's a good idea. But yes, I fear that I disturb them. Lucia knows that. Knows that I ask a lot of questions during a project. She knows that I even send the QA at the end of the project. But I feel that I bother them if I send too many emails because I know how busy PMs are. I know that they are humans, and I don't want to say something like, here she is again with her emails. I don't know. Yeah, it's fear. And I talked about that today. So yeah, my words against me. Damn.
You can
Sorry for that.
literally put something at the end of the email saying, email me whatever word, French fries, if you don't want to receive this thing. So they don't even
Yeah.
have to write a whole email saying, can you please stop sending me? They just send you the secret word and then you stop bothering them.
Yeah. This is nice. We learn a lot from you today. And thank you for sharing that. It's useful. It will be useful for our listeners. And we are really looking forward to know if 1 week is too often, if 1 month is too often. So yeah, let us know in comments what do you think. And Martina, Argyro, thank you for agreeing to talk to us. Lucia, I leave you the conclusion of a great episode. Really, I learned a lot.
Yeah, so again, ladies, thank you so much for being here, for spending some time with us, because we know time is more than money sometimes. So, yeah, Martina, Argyro, thank you. I cannot say anything else. And yeah, everyone, please let us know what you think about the topic, what you think, because maybe as soon as possible means something different to you. And any final words you would like to share with us, Martina?
No, just like thank you very much for the invite and for this interesting conversation. And I'm always looking forward to reading the replies.
Thank you. And Argyro, any final words from you?
Thank you for inviting me, and good luck with your podcast. I hope it's very, it helps, people in the industry. We need all the help we can right now, and as long as the translators community stays united, I think we will find our spot next era, beyond the AI era. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. We are a really resilient community, so I'm sure we'll get it together. So thank you, everyone, and till next
Thank you.
time. Bye-bye.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
What you've heard are just our personal opinions. We by no means intend to impose our personal views on anyone. Feel free to disagree, throw tomatoes at us, or just drop a comment to let us know. Thank you!